Welcome back. The Central Valley is one of the regions in the state with a very high number of elderly people who need assisted living but cannot afford the cost. As a result, they suffer with less than adequate care. But there is a program out there that could be the answer. Joining us now is Greg Steen, CEO and founder of Senior Care Advocates. And the program we're talking about, Assisted Living Waiver. And it's a state program. So what does it do? How do we qualify?
Good question. So Assisted Living Waiver is a Medi-Cal program that helps people that need assisted living get the proper care without having to pay the full cost. So they're paying the room and board, which currently is like a little over $1,300 a month. But normally it would be like $4,500 to maybe $6,500 a month. Yeah. And a lot of people need it, but they just can't afford it.
And so they will cover part of that cost or all of that cost?
So the Medi-Cal recipient pays the room and board part, which is about $13,000.
Got it.
The ALW assisted living program pays the rest of it, and that's that amount is based upon the evaluation that's done. There's different tiers of care, so it might be the lower or the higher, but it does pay the rest of the cost, which is awesome. Do
Medi-Cal recipients pay the same room and board regardless of whatever facility they're at?
Yes. So, and the cost, the care, so they pay the same and the care is the same. Okay. There's a little bit of a misconception sometimes that if you do a Medi-Cal program, you're going to get lower care. Right. That may have been true, 20 years ago or something, but today it's not. Caregivers don't know how you're paying and they don't care. They're just going to take care of you. Right. So, yeah, it's a good question.
So that's sort of the way the model is set up. You have people that can pay and you have people that cannot pay, but usually nobody knows who's paying. They just give the care. So what are the upsides and the downsides for using this state program?
So the upside is that you get the care that you should have because most people are at home because they can't afford to go somewhere. So they're getting the proper care. The care is affordable, and it allows you to then have multiple people caring for you instead of one, which is a huge burden on anybody. Sure. The downside currently is that there's a 2-year wait. The downside is that you have to basically know how to expedite the program, or you are going to wait. But there are ways to legally expedite it. But as far as that, there's really no other downside. It's just kind of the wait. Right. You do have to have Medi-Cal approved first. Okay. You have to have a zero share of cost, which basically just means you qualify not to have a copay each month so that you can afford to pay the room and board.
Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, I would think that for anybody out there, let's say they've got parents or they themselves are in assisted living, and they're having a hard time covering the costs, now would be the time to get on that list immediately because, you're paying for it right now. Maybe 2 years from now, you're not paying for it. How can you help people expedite the process?
We can and we do. We're one of the few that actually knows the ways to do that. So we get a lot of those calls. So the process for doing it basically is that when people are in a nursing home awaiting discharge, or they have a adult protective services case that's active, and there's a couple of other ways, but they can call us for those. Right. And so, but it's an amazing program, and you're probably going to talk about what's coming up. There are some great things coming up in the future. Yes. In February, because right now it's only in 15 counties statewide. So it's a great program. It's been around over 10 years. But it's really? Yeah, it's kind of amazing. But
you always bring us things that we don't know about. So soon it will be in every county in the state.
As of February next year. So February 2024. So
as somebody who deals with this, there's already a 2-year wait list. Will that be a detriment to the program that it's now in every county, but they can't currently?
So part of the reason, that's a great question. So that's a very good question. So my goal between now and February is to find a lot more providers, get them enrolled, and also to talk with our politicians and people that are, decision makers about making sure that they have enough slots and they have enough funds for this program because it's sorely needed in the Central Valley. I mean, so needed.
Yes.
And it's a great program, but now everybody's, excited about it and they're using it,
Yes.
but now we have this huge wait. So.
Right, which is why it's always good to support places and organizations like Senior Care Advocates. So their website is right there. We will have their phone number online and all the information online as well. And we'll link to the state website for the program as well. Greg Steen, you always bring great information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up here, we're getting you the smile.